A lot of electric car fans said that Legacy Auto, when they finally decided to mass manufacture EVs, would struggle to do so. A lot of people who were fans of Toyota, of Ford, General Motors, of the big brand companies, they said, no, that's ridiculous. Toyota, Nissan, these companies, they're going to mass manufacture EVs. It'll be a piece of piss. And that's an Australian expression for saying it'll be easy. It'll be super, super duper easy. Actually, here's a look at what has really happened. And it certainly has not been easy. In fact, the facts show that 2023 was the year of delayed car launches from Legacy Auto. In fact, more launches were delayed than in any other year in the history of mankind. And the reason was electric cars. Legacy Auto has struggled to produce the EVs just to reveal the models that they planned on doing so. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. I want to say happy Christmas, and I hope you had an amazing new year. 2024. Will it be another year of struggle for legacy automakers? And it has been a struggle because we hear of companies like General Motors saying, we've just bought out a Blazer EV. It's great. You're going to love it. The prices are good. And what happens? They sell about 50 of them. No, actually, in fact, they delivered 1,000 to showrooms. We don't know how many of those they've actually sold. Then they place a stop order, immediate stop sale on all of them because there's just massive problems. Now, this was probably worse than what happened with the Volkswagen Group. Their EVs have been delayed for years because of software problems, numerous problems with the new platform. Anyhow, 34% of all vehicle launches experienced production delays in 2023. How does this compare with the past? Well, here's an example. Only 5% were delayed in 2018. That means 34% versus 5% would suggest that 7 times more delays were felt in 2023. Clearly, the reason for this is electric cars, says Automotive News. Delayed model launches are on the rise in the automotive industry, and they're on the rise by a little bit. They're on the rise by enormous levels. Electric cars are the number one contributor according to consulting firm PwC. The delays have come in part from challenges surrounding the electric vehicle transition. In fact, almost entirely. Namely, EVs have less established designs and suppliers are having a hard time keeping up. But there's a lot more to it than that. There's the software, there's the battery technology, there's the integration. It's an entirely different product. And Legacy Auto just didn't realize this. Some of this was hubris. Some of this was just not being aware of the future. Just how difficult it would be to manufacture EVs at scale and to manufacture them in a way that they can do it without losing enormous amounts of money per car. Ford have admitted they're losing around $30,000. That's US dollars on every electric car they sell. It's not easy, even for big companies like Ford, even for big companies like Toyota. Toyota is struggling even more than Ford. That gives you some context. Mature, says Automotive News, as the old traditional components. That leads to significant late changes that contributes to the launch issues, said Akshay Singh, an automotive partner at PwC Strategy. And they said this: EV designs are evolving, and that is going to cause even more issues going forward. Now, never before has the automotive industry had to compete with China as well. China is putting out new EVs on a weekly basis. And those EVs are better than previous versions. They're continuing to get better and better and better and better at a faster and faster pace. And then you hear companies like Volkswagen Group and Stellantis saying, we are struggling to compete with this. The speed that they can produce a new model in, we just can't compete with. Just look at BYD, for example. They seem to introduce a new electric car every single month of the year. And then they ramp up production incredibly quickly. In 2023, 34% of all vehicle launches experienced major production delays, compared with only 5% in 2018. In November, Tesla finally released the Cybertruck, which was supposed to launch in 2021. But that was fairly insignificant because Tesla this year will actually build around or deliver approximately 1.85 million EVs, which is a lot more than their competition. In October, General Motors announced it would delay the launch of the Chevy Equinox EV, the Chevy Silverado EV RST, and the GMC Sierra EV Denali. Then they revealed the stop sale order on the new Blazer. In July, Volvo delayed production of the new electric crossover, the EX90. A delay of 12 months can cost an automaker approximately $200 million in additional changes for personnel, prototypes, and logistics, and in lost market share. The market share is the biggest loss. I mean, it's really hard to quantify what these automakers are losing when they lose major market share. That delay can cost the supplier, just the supplier, $15 million in penalties. And there's a lot of suppliers for legacy automaker vehicles. They don't make most of the parts themselves. Most of them are made by external suppliers. These suppliers are really struggling and bleeding. Automakers are under more pressure than ever to reduce electric vehicle prices and to show investors the returns on their EV investment. In November, Ford projected it would lose $4.5 billion on EVs in 2023. But it's not alone. PwC estimates the number of planned launches will double between 2023 and 2026. There were 38 vehicle launches in 2023, they said. If you don't introduce to the market on time, you're going to lose market share. It is a big deal, said Singh. EVs represent a small share of vehicles on the road, but competition is fierce for the limited number of models so far. Electric vehicle sales accounted for 8% of total industry sales in the third quarter of this year in the United States, but worldwide, they have now hit more than 11%. In China, they're approaching nearly 40%. In Europe, that number is approaching 20%. In 2024, that figure worldwide could hit 20%. And these delays will really, really hurt legacy auto. Singh and other PwC authors also attributed delays to supply chain issues, particularly those associated with electronic powertrain components, issues meeting quality standards, emissions rules, and workforce constraints. Anyway, whatever the issues are, doesn't really matter. The point is here, legacy auto are not doing what the media and so-called automotive experts said they would. They are not ramping up production, and there is many reasons for their reticence to build EVs. It's not just the fact they don't want to because they're losing money on them. That's true in part. It's also the fact that they are simply struggling to even get these vehicles off the ground to consumers. New inverters, traction motors, battery trays, and other components for EVs have caused some of the delays, say experts. It's also hard to find workers with the technical skills to finish components, ones that they're not experienced with. It's sort of the kind of scenario where you didn't try and poach workers from Tesla or other automakers such as Rivian. More strategic issues though, such as timing and changing customer preferences, have contributed to delays to a lesser extent, the report said. For legacy automakers, the report has an upshot. The main culprits behind delays are startups and suppliers. So it's not the fault of the legacy automotive companies. They can just blame startups. They can just blame suppliers. That's a good solution going forward, don't you think? I don't think so. However, if automakers can make up for supplier sluggishness, they can take advantage of their manufacturing prowess, according to Singh, to beat increasing competition from automotive startups. That's their competitive advantage right now, said Singh. Now, I believe he's just saying this stuff to try and appeal to legacy automakers, to get them to invest in the company's consultancy services. Realistically, does legacy auto truly have an advantage over Chinese companies, Chinese EV manufacturers, over Rivian, over Tesla? I don't think they do. I think that's a myth. But what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.